Crystal Stairs is a community institution dedicated to improving the lives of families through child care services, research, and advocacy. But really our primary goal is to promote programs that strengthen and assist families towards reaching self-sufficiency and providing enriched lives for their children.
It's all about kids and their families and the social landscape, and you have to understand their problems in order to have a solution. So we were working on the solution side, taking into account all of the needs of the community. This was the beginning of a feasibility study for building a center. We did all this research, and before I knew it, we knew everything there was to know about childcare in South Central Los Angeles. And so that was when the vision for Crystal Stairs became more crystallized. We started out with the smaller thing of the referral service. When I got this big grant, we had this bigger idea, and that led to some interesting discussions with, of course, friends and family. Lucky for me, a classmate of mine from graduate school had returned to LA to work. That was Alice Duff, who later became my co-founder, and she started out as someone who was going to work 9 months while I went through the tenure process at UCLA. 9 months later, she said to me, "I don't want to go work at the federal building. I'm really happy working right here." And with that in mind, we hunkered down and began developing other programs to go with our child care referral service. So Alice and I thought about what would be the name, and she said, "You know, I taught this literature class, and there was this poem by Langston Hughes called Mother to Son. It's about mothers trying to take care of their children, working, struggling, getting ahead, and motivating their child to keep going. You got to reach those landings, turn those corners, and move on up." That was really what our message was all about. I really wanted to run an organization where research and service could come together in a very short feedback loop. When we reapplied for some of our funds, one of the programs was our child nutrition program. We began that just a few months before we incorporated Crystal Stairs. That program spread like wildfire. Then different public policies were passed to round out our complement of services to families, and we kept adding programs.
Crystal Stairs serves predominantly African American and Latino children and families, of which most are either at or below the federal poverty level. We serve geographies in Los Angeles County, which really has some of the poorest communities in the state of California. We have the highest multi-generational poverty in this area, the highest childhood obesity, and many of the lowest performing schools. We have the highest average unemployment rate in some of our cities. And another just really staggering statistic about our families is that 75% of our parents are single mothers. Since our early days, Crystal Stairs has been on the forefront of advocating for greater investments in quality childcare. But 10 years ago, we formally established our Community Voices Advocacy Program. It focuses on building parent leadership skills and strengthening their voices for children and working families. One of our new programs, and near and dear to my heart, is our Head Start and Early Head Start programs. These programs offer early care and learning to preschool and children even 0 to 48 months with comprehensive family services that support not only the child but the entire family's development. Our health outreach program supports families in getting enrolled into healthcare services. Many of our families are uninsured, and this program allows staff to assist families in creating healthier lives for their families. Traditionally, most of our programs have been focused on providing access to quality childcare experiences for children. Our newest program, however, is our Parent Support Program, which is dedicated to providing essential resources and enhanced support services and trainings to help parents. We understand that we can't only serve the child, we have to strengthen the nucleus of the family, and that really starts with the parent. When parents are stronger, children have greater chances for success.
Although a large part of what we do is providing childcare subsidies for thousands of families, Crystal Stairs does so much more in terms of providing critical services to educate, support, and ultimately strengthen families and communities often overlooked or under-resourced. So over time, Crystal Stairs has evolved, expanding its programs and services to meet the growing needs of our communities. And I foresee this continuing to occur as we regularly assess the needs of our communities, identify gaps, and we align with our core competencies, and are always looking for opportunities to broaden our impact. I'm most inspired by all the work that's being done in communities that truly need our help. I've been fortunate enough to be able to spend time on the front lines with staff who approach their work in a professional, empathetic, and really compassionate way.
One little thing can change someone's entire life. So just knowing that when parents come to you or providers, just to say a thank you. Just yesterday, a parent, can I just hug you? Of course you can just hug me. That to me is priceless.
My personal goals for the board members is that their service to Crystal Stairs fulfills their desire to give back to the community while delivering the governance required of a nonprofit organization. Bottom line, while they're giving of their time, talent, and treasure, I want them to get something meaningful back as well.
I just see Crystal Stairs as being at a point of maturity where it can launch anew.
What we do matters in so many ways.
And with the 36 years of experience, our assets in terms of knowledge, skills, and capacity, as well as our very positive reputation, and Crystal Stairs is strategically positioned to pursue social enterprise opportunities where we can develop earned revenue streams that will strengthen our organization's future financial viability.
Crystal Stairs has finally grown up. I know it's been 35 years. We're celebrating our 35th anniversary in our 36th year. But I think we're well past adolescence and launched into adulthood. The reason I say that is because we could have been called a mature organization maybe 10 years ago or whatever. But this year marks the end of any founder engagement. I'm no longer on the board. Alice has been gone for over a decade. We still have employees here who were around in the very early days, but their numbers are smaller. I think the programming and the steady state of our funding, operating at over $100 million for at least a decade with a very solid leadership team, and I think Crystal Stairs will enter another entrepreneurial phase to build upon the original entrepreneurial phase because it's mature enough, sound enough, well-known enough, and at a standard of excellence that I can be proud of that should carry them forward into the future. This team wants to do that. This board is ready to do it. And so I see this point as a new launch. A bigger, better launch. Like we got to the moon, they can get to Mars. And I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. One of the good things about this year's gala is that for the first time, Dr. Alice Duff, my co-founder, is being honored. I think it's so overdue. She had to be gone for over 10 years in order for us to call her up and say, look, we need to recognize your contribution to this organization. She's very smart, very loyal, very conscientious. I think actually that's her middle name. And very focused, and I appreciate all of those qualities in her, and I'm so glad we are able to give the first honor on the list to her and her tenure. We had to have people on our board that we could trust, so Carl came on as a banker, And he was very, very helpful in teaching us the hows and whys of negotiating relationships with your bank. And Carl's impact was, first of all, he was steady as you go. He was on the board for 20 some odd years. We had no term limits.
Our founders and their original vision still have a very strong influence on our culture, our work, and our commitment to excellence. Alice and Karen have not only had an incredible influence on Crystal Stairs, but on the early care and education landscape of California. I often get approached at meetings and conferences by colleagues that say Alice and Karen had an impact on their career.
The honor exemplifies Dr. Scott and Dr. Duff's commitment and dedication to the children and the families that we have served for over 30 years, and I thank them for that.
I would like to thank our founders, Dr. Karen Hill Scott, Dr. Alice Walker Duff, for their vision, determination, and persistence to build an organization that would have generational effect and be a catalyst to lift oneself out of poverty. Thank you to Carl Balton for being that corporate connection to help corporations see their role in helping people help themselves.
There are not enough words to express my gratitude, first for believing in me, giving me the opportunity to grow, understand the Crystal Stairs mission, and build up my strength and leadership skills, knowledge, to be able to coach and lead by example. Bottom line is lead by example. So I want to thank them both for being my greatest leaders.
Dr. Duff used to say, answer the phone with a smile on your face. And I still remember, that was years and years ago.
It's not easy following in the footsteps of the three great CEOs that preceded me, Drs. Karen Hill Scott, Alice Walker Duff, and Senator Holly Mitchell, but I sure hope they are proud of what Crystal Stairs has become.
I'm very proud of what it has become, and I'm very confident in the management and staff team that are here. There's a lot of care and love and dedication in this building.